Oh, hello, YouTubers. It is Larry the GM. It is January 1st, 2023, and I know I have been missing in action. Sorry about that, guys. The holidays and just life got in the way of doing some YouTube videos while we were still trying to put out some articles, but we're going to do something a little different this evening. We're going to go through the New Year's resolutions for the Larry the GM site. Now, guys, I do not expect that everybody is going to care deeply about what we're doing on the Larry the GM site, but I think there's some things here that might be of interest for you as a member of the YouTube channel. If you are a member of the site or subscriber to the site, you may be interested in a little of what we're talking about here. And also sets a little bit of the precedent of what um, makes the Larry the GM site a little different. I'm going to blow that up so we can really see it. All right, here we go. So New Year's resolutions. I know it's cliche, but here it is. I'm gonna do some New Year's resolutions. This is kind of setting some goals for myself for the site. Um, and like I said, I know a lot of you guys aren't going to care, but for those that do, this maybe you're going to see why the site is different from I'd say 90%, maybe it's even more than that of sports media. So number one, what's the main difference of the site? Well, our site is independent. I own the site. I pay the bills to keep the site up. I have never asked any of you guys for any money, and we do not really rely on sources. Every once in a while, I get told something, but really, there's 99.9% of our articles that we've ever put out. We're not relying on any source for anything. Um, that means that we don't have to keep the sources happy with what we say. We just have to be happy with what we say because we believe it's the truth. And if you stay here long enough, I think you'll understand how that plays out to be different than most of the sports media that you consume. Because the honest truth is, many members of the sports media rely on sources and they rely on being told what's going to happen. And I rely, and Clint relies, and Joshua relies on our knowledge of the situation or our ability to understand what the statistics say and our experience in watching sports and understanding what is likely to happen. So that's what sets us different. So this rolls directly into resolution one. The resolution one is that in 2023 we will continue to improve the ways. We'll continue to bring you, and we'll improve the ways that we bring you objective data based sports analysis. And what does that really mean? But it means my priorities are first in being accurate. Okay. And number two is being objective. I work very, very hard. I spend way too many hours, as some of you already know, looking at data, digging through data, creating modeling of that data, algorithms related to that data, and and putting and then putting it and summarizing it. Some people say, "Well, hey, Larry, you just put different tables out." Like, okay, you can say that, but I think the value of the site a lot of times in some of those tables is the way we're presenting the data and helping drive decisions or thoughts and conclusions of the data. Number three is, yes, we do want the site to be popular, but it's very, very distant. And guys, honestly, if I have to choose between being right and being objective and being popular, I'm always going to choose being right and being objective. Right and you can say, well, what's right in this sense? Well, the right is the truth as I see it. Okay, and when I'm wrong, I own up to it. I even had a accuracy tracker on the site for a while. Um, so we're not focused on making anyone happy. We're not really focused on driving clicks. We're focused on telling the truth as we see it. We don't ask you for money. Um, and what we do sometimes ask for you to do, if you want to help the site, is to share the content that we put out. Um, so I will continue to do what I do to drive, you know, interest, and that by putting out the articles, links on Twitter and Facebook. But I'm not going to sell my soul to be popular, and that that's pretty clear if you follow my Twitter feed. Um, so you that are members of the site, and if you're not a member, I'd encourage you to be a member. If you're not a member, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, I'd ask you to do that. I'd ask you to like this video after you're done watching it, or please, that'll help us drive, you know, interest beyond just the few that we have. Um, the other thing I like to say is that the other thing I want to get across is I believe this season's going to be challenging for the Astros. If you've already been tracking with me on the website, you know that I'm concerned that the Astros are not going to live up to the expectations of this fan base. It just assumes that they're going to be great. They very well might be, but they have some challenges that they've, after years and years of letting all-star level players go. th- this team might be challenged this year. Now they've added an all-star, Jose Abreu, but still, here's where the challenge comes in. It goes back to what I was saying before. From a messaging standpoint, Jim Crane has skin in the game now. This is his team. He's been responsible for putting this team together this year. He's going to hire a GM in the next 6 to 8 weeks, hopefully sooner. And he can hold that GM accountable for the moves he or she doesn't make. But um, Jim Crane has made the decisions of who's on this team in 2023. There's not many free agents left that are going to make any sort of difference, material and to a material sense for the wins and losses of this team in 2023. So whether or not those moves that he's made and or the moves he's chosen not to make, despite him saying he was going to make some moves, um, I think this team has chosen, much as they did with Correa and walked away from Correa last year about this time. They believe very strongly in Jeremy Pena, and I think this team has basically told us with their actions they're very comfortable with the outfield prospects that they have coming, and they're very comfortable with their catching prospects. So to the extent that those enablement of the younger players to take over and roles for this team in 2023, and how the future impact of those and future seasons is going to be largely on Jim Crane. And so now getting back to sources, I don't have sources. I don't really have to worry if Jim Crane likes what I say or not. Other people do, and I think you're going to see that there's going to be a real challenge in sports media in Houston this year covering the Astros, because there's going to be a tendency to say, "Well, they won the World Series, so we just need to be patient. They just need to be patient." Let's hope I'm wrong, and this team starts out of the blocks great, and they're doing awesome. And what's going to happen is if those the moves that haven't been made, if the younger players step in, Yanier Diaz does a great job as a backup catcher right out of the box. I mean, I'll be the first one to show you, point to signs of saying that's happening. But if it's not, I won't be afraid to point that out as well, and I won't have to worry about the sources. So now, just from a full transparency standpoint, some people may wonder, well, Larry, you say you don't charge for the site, you never have. What is your long-term business plan? Okay, well, it eventually, if we build a site with enough interest, I may allow a ad or two into the site. I don't even know how to do that right now, guys. So don't, this is something you have to worry about right away. Um, So if we get popularity, maybe we'll put a few ads in, but that never to the extent that those ads are going to impede the content on the site, and never to the extent that we're going to be beholden to anybody, any advertiser for what we put on the site. That's just the realities of our situation. All right, so let's talk about resolution number 2. So what I really want to do also on the site this year is make it responsive, more responsive to those that have signed up to be the members and subscribers to the site. If you can subscribe to the mail list, or you can be a full member, I guess, of the site. And so we've got 134 site members as of earlier today. There's 225 folks that have signed up to the email list. Now there may be a few duplicates in there because some people have put a couple of different of their different emails in there, or signed up more than once. Honestly, guys, given the footprint that we haven't really pushed membership or signing up on those for email very much. So I'm happy that there's that many people that are interested in the site. But one of the other things I want you guys to say, I want you to understand, if you're one of the people in those groups, I really do care what you think, because you have skin in the game. You've taken the time to sign up to be on the site. So, um, you you can chat with me on the site there in the lower right corner, and where it says members chat. You can you can comment on any of the articles as you see fit. Um, but here's a few other numbers, just so we can understand where we've been. 22 In 2022, we grew obviously a lot. We started the site in August 15th of 2021. So 22 was the very first full year. In that year, we've had 27,000 unique visitors. A lot of those people just came for one article that they saw, either a link on Twitter or a link on Facebook, and they've never been back. That's the nature of what we do. Um, 89% of those people were unique visitors to the site in 2022. 11% were people that had been in the previous 4 months of the year, or 4.5 months of the year. There's a of the 61,000 pages have been viewed on the site. These seem like really big numbers to me. I don't know if they are or not, but just being transparent with you. Over the last 30 days, if you can get a handle of this, that we've had 4,200 unique visitors to the site. 63% of those are new, and we've had over 9,200 page views. Now, this again, like LarryTheGM, here you go, and putting out meaningless numbers. What does all this mean? Okay, well, number one, let's remember that in the last month there has not been a single Astros game played. Okay, and the Longhorn season was ramping down, not necessarily in a very positive way. And so we we've had a lot of traffic to the site, more traffic than any other point in the year. uh, and we have a bigger reach than I think most people even realize. Part of that's because we don't charge for the coming to the site, so what do you have to lose, right? um, so we've been growing even in the off season with the Astros. We will continue to grow. I will be continuing to put out output. We're going to look at some, you know, do some preview guides like we were going to do last year, but the lockout really made that difficult. Um, we are becoming more and more return visitor based, which I think is good, which means that the people that are signing up to be members, they're coming back over and over and over and over again. And that's really cool to see. Those are the people that are getting value from the site. Um, so my focus is in 20. The point of all that is that's the people we're going to focus on in 2023. Those are the people we're gonna seek out your opinions of what we're doing, and I'm really gonna be asking you guys for your input, and that'll happen hopefully several times. And if you want to be one of those that's giving input, then the easiest way will be to subscribe to the site. All right, resolution number 3 is this YouTube channel. Um, Obviously, we kicked off the YouTube channel in 22, which was our goal. Um, this and we haven't really done anything the last 3 weeks. Sorry about that, but we're going to continue to integrate the YouTube channel with the content of the site. I'm thinking that we will do like a weekly, you know, Astros based show, and we'll do a weekly Longhorns based show. I'm not sure if that, the frequency of that may be a little challenging, especially on the Longhorn side, but 'cause I don't really want to repeat stuff that you guys could get everywhere, but we're going to probably look at some things on the Longhorn side based on the article that we put out in the last couple of weeks about how this team's building, how Steve Sarkisian is building a team. So, but on the Astro side, and that's going to integrate, each one of those shows will integrate with the content that we are putting on the site, somewhat similarly to what we did so far in the off season. So, but if you see an article and you don't see a YouTube video for it, and you really want me to go through that article, then if you're a subscriber to the site, you should be putting in the comment, "Hey, Larry, please put this on a video. We want to see you talk through what's here, because it's a little, sometimes my articles, believe it or not, can get a little number heavy, and we try to explain what the numbers mean. But if you want that, then please let me know. So that's the goal for 2023, will be to incorporate the YouTube channel. So we should see more and more content, or more regular. I guess it may not even be more. It's going to be regular content, and I'm going to figure out when is the best time of the week to do those kind of shows. All right, so let's talk about Resolution 4, and kind of alluded to it. Resolution 4 is simply that, and I got my Longhorn cap on. I got the Astros World Series championship shirt on, but got the Longhorn cap on for a reason, because in 2023, I intend to increase the coverage of the Texas Longhorns more, and that's going to be as this Longhorns complete the 23 season. They should be looking toward life in the SEC. We should be covering that more. We should be covering, the extent of how how college football is being impacted by NIL and all these other things that are going on. And we're going to really be focused on the Longhorns roster and roster management in the next several weeks, and who's leaving now that the bowl game's over with, who else is going to leave, who else is going to potentially transfer in, and all that. So that's another goal for us. And I know I recognize that some Astros fans are not interested in that, but I also recognize that there's some Longhorn fans that aren't interested in the Astros content. So that's going to be one of the goals for this year, is to build more on the Longhorn side, and not that we're going to de-emphasize the Astros at all. Don't worry about that. All right, so that's where the goals are. So really, what all I wanted to do is put this out so you can understand where we're going, maybe a little commentary with it. All I can say, guys, is if you want to be involved, please sign up for the site, be a member, be a subscriber to the site, be on the email list. When an article goes out, you'll be notified. You won't have to wait for any sort of Twitter or Facebook announcement that there's an article, and also you have full reign to comment as you see fit to anything we put out. Okay, guys, thank you, and hope to talk to you soon. I'm gonna say a hook 'em horns for the Longhorn content. There you go, and let's go Astros. Let's go win another World Series in 2023. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.